Hello and welcome back. Today we're covering one of the most significant geopolitical developments currently unfolding on the global stage: renewed nuclear negotiations between the United States and Iran. After years of tension, sanctions, diplomatic breakdowns, and military threats, officials from both countries met again in Geneva this week. According to initial statements, the talks have shown what Iranian officials described as good progress. But what does that really mean? Is this a real breakthrough, or just another temporary diplomatic pause? Let's take a closer look. To understand today's talks, we need to briefly revisit the past. In 2015, Iran and several world powers signed a landmark nuclear agreement designed to limit Iran's uranium enrichment in exchange for sanctions relief. The deal was seen as a major diplomatic achievement at the time. However, in 2018, the United States withdrew from the agreement, reimposed sanctions, and tensions sharply increased. Iran gradually expanded its nuclear activities, while Washington tightened economic pressure. Since then, relations have remained fragile, marked by indirect talks, regional incidents, and rising mistrust. Now, in 2026, both sides appear to be testing whether diplomacy can work again. What happened in Geneva? This week's negotiations took place in Geneva, Switzerland, a city often used as neutral ground for high-stakes diplomacy. Both delegations discussed a framework of what they called guiding principles. According to officials, these principles are not a finalized agreement, but rather a roadmap for future negotiations. Iran's foreign minister publicly stated that the discussions were constructive and forward-moving. U.S. officials also acknowledged progress, but emphasized that significant differences remain. Importantly, both sides agreed to continue talks in the coming weeks, a sign that neither party wants negotiations to collapse at this stage. Key issues still unresolved. Despite positive language, first, uranium enrichment levels, several major issues remain unresolved. The United States and its allies want strict limits to prevent any possibility of weaponization. Washington insists on strong international monitoring mechanisms to ensure compliance. Third, sanctions relief. Iran argues that meaningful economic relief must be guaranteed before it accepts strict nuclear restrictions. These issues are technically complex and politically sensitive, making any final agreement difficult to achieve. At the same time, diplomacy is unfolding alongside regional military tension. The United States maintains a significant military presence in the Middle East. Iran, meanwhile, has conducted military drills and demonstrated its strategic capabilities in key waterways. This dual track, diplomacy on one hand and deterrence on the other, creates a delicate balance. Both sides appear aware that escalation could have serious global consequences, especially in energy markets and regional stability. Why does this matter beyond the region? Because the outcome of these talks could directly impact global oil prices, international trade routes, financial markets, relations between Western nations and Middle Eastern powers. A successful agreement could reduce uncertainty in global markets and ease geopolitical tensions. A failed negotiation, however, could trigger renewed sanctions, military incidents, and further instability. Domestically, both governments face political pressure. In Washington, leaders must ensure any deal appears strong and enforceable. In Tehran, officials must demonstrate that diplomacy brings real economic benefits. This political balancing act adds another layer of complexity to already sensitive negotiations. So, is this the beginning of a new diplomatic chapter? Or simply another cautious step in a long and uncertain process? For now, both sides are talking. And in international diplomacy, continued dialogue itself is often considered progress.
We must act now.
The coming weeks
Agreed,
will be critical.
but we need consensus.
If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay informed with Eagle Eye Politics. Thank you for watching.